Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Tom. Tom, crazy day. You're never going to guess what time it is.
You're right. I super won't. You grotesque slop hog. Why would you come to me at this time and try to force me to answer riddles? What are you, some sort of riddler?
I riddle. And it's something you should have picked up there. I gave you all the clues, Detective. Mr. Police. As a matter of fact,
you're the snowman.
You might have noticed we're not even alone here.
Dave.
It's Dave is here.
What?
Dave.
You've brought Dave.
I brought a Dave.
What does this mean?
Well, it actually means, you ignorant ass, that it's time for another episode of Tom and Jeff Watch.
How could you do this to me, both of you?
You did it to yourself.
This is entrapment.
You guys are so aggressive. You're so aggressive.
You've never heard the show before, huh?
Calm down. Calm down about Batman. It's just Batman.
Listen, Batman.
This ain't Mulder After Dark. There's no saxophone in this episode.
we don't have a relaxing sax.
Yeah,
That's
our
fair.
hero doesn't take time off the way Mulder does.
Batman, Bruce needs to go to Stonehenge to get himself a little hat.
Yeah, he does.
Needs that.
Yeah.
He needs that so much because, goddamn, he's not having a good time in this movie.
Folks, you might be noticing that we're doing something that we don't regularly do very often, which is A, have a guest on the show, B, B, offering this episode for free. So if you're listening to this, hi. Thank you.
Hello.
And C, note that we are taking an entire month to dedicate to one specific film. We have not done that since the Snyder Cut came out. When was that? Like 30 years ago?
It's at least 700 years ago, yeah.
It was either 700 years ago or 8 weeks ago, and I do not remember which.
Impossible to tell.
Time is a flat, black and white circle that says fuck, even though it shouldn't be.
We could go back and do it again because we could do the justice is black and white or whatever. Is that what he calls it? Justice is black and white?
I'll quit the show, Tom.
Okay.
Can't you just like re-release the one you did already, but like a black and white version?
We'll add an echo into
it. Add like an echo. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so we're covering the Batman. This was something that people asked for us to do when the movie came out, which kind of fuck you for even asking that, because how many times would I have had to see that with a notebook in the dark?
Yeah, just yelling at the projectionist to pause it.
I can't do that for 3 hours at a time.
Asking them to rewind it and shit.
Yeah. AMC A-List is going to be like, bro, we had to boot you. We thought you were a bot.
We thought you were the Riddler.
Yeah. This is our first October. It's a spooky season. We have kind of timed this out. We projected it in a specific way that this movie that takes place essentially over the course of like a Halloween event is going to be sort of celebrating spooky season. Also spooky, Batman.
Yeah. He dresses up in a costume.
He does. He's very
in a bat
festive.
costume.
Yeah.
That's very Halloween.
He's got little devil horns.
So David, thank you. For those that are not familiar with David Bell, that would be weird that you're familiar with this show, but not Dave.
It would be weird.
But introduce yourself, sir.
I am David Bell. I'm part of this podcast network that you're listening to this on.
Yeah.
Co-host of Hypecast.
Sure.
And We Just Watched.
Mm-hmm.
Fox Mulder is a Maniac.
Yep. There you go. Yeah.
From the Gamefully Unemployed Network. That's me. I'm David Bell. Thanks for having me on. I'm delighted to be here.
Show.
I've also been a guest on this show in the past.
You've given us such classic riffs as 80s wrestler.
I don't think I gave you that. You guys gave yourself that. I was simply a witness in the room.
You gave us the rock. You gave us the rock, and we chipped away to find the bone.
Okay, sure.
It's a team. It's a teamwork. It's all teamwork. And Dave, there's nobody we wanted to cover the start of this with than you, because you are going to look at this, I think, with a good perspective. One of the things I love about this movie that we haven't really gotten too much in the Batman world is the amount of people that when they are faced with Batman, they're like, what? Who is this asshole?
Right.
I do. That is one of my favorite things about this movie. At least the way this movie opens. You do get some of that like in the earlier movies, but this is the first one where they're all really like, what the fuck is this guy? Because you would be like that. Like if we weren't all so conditioned by like 80 years of media to like recognize like we are well adjusted to Batman, but like if you actually saw this dude just walking around in a Dracula cave.
I always think of it this way. I once had this is a weird I once had a car explode outside my apartment, and a fireman came into my apartment, right? Yeah. And we all think about firefighters, as this like abstract concept. When there's one in the room with you, it's actually really like imposing. It's this person covered in equipment, gear, and or like a medieval knight, I imagine would be the same. Or, for example, a Batman. Like if you were in the room with Batman, it would be like, oh my god, it would be very weird and disruptive. Yes.
It would also be, though, like running into a fireman, but like on the street at 3 a.m.
Exactly.
Right? It's like,
with
it's
not
not
a fire
exactly
in sight.
Yes, nary a fire in sight other than you with a book of matches and some intent.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, this motherfucker. So, okay.
Do we know, going into this movie, do we know how long he's been Batmaning?
2 years.
Because there is a part that there's a guy who says, like, what are you supposed to be? Yeah. And I was like, you're not Googling this? Like, you're not reading the newspaper? We'll get to it.
Oh, it's in my notes. Yeah, one of the juggalos.
The Juggalo gang, and the one kid who's not initiated yet, so he only has half a Juggalo face.
Just a jugga.
Tonight you get your alo.
We start to find out that it is October 31st, and we see a pair of like high-res binoculars with like distance parts on it, and we have a binocular eye view, and we hear this breathing, and the implication is, oh, Batman is on a stakeout.
Right.
It's very clue, and it's very important that they started with us thinking that Batman is on a stakeout while Ave Maria is playing. That is going to be a thematic song throughout the film.
Yes, made famous by the Hitman video game and nothing else.
By Brett the Hitman video game. That was his come out music. And we hear like heavy breathing, which
Batman is masturbating. Presumably,
it seems like he's J&O, right?
Yeah. That's what this is.
We see something that I was not expecting to see, and it takes Batman's you out of the movie for a half second, where we see a ninja. And when I saw this the first time, I was like, "There are going to be ninjas in this movie?" Like, it was very.
It's really cool to me because it felt like it was like a nod to the more corny Batmans. Like that was the whole point. Is like because when you see the ninja, you're like, "Wait a second. This isn't the movie I expected at all."
Yeah. You're like, this is going to be a ninjas movie?
Yeah. Like, I'm not against that, but this is what I sat down for.
Right. Yeah. Like, I'm never like, oh, man, when I see ninjas.
Yeah.
No, you buckle in. You're like, okay.
You're like, all right. This is I didn't know this was a ninja party. Okay.
Yeah. Like, you're watching Steel Magnolias, and if a ninja shows up in the middle of it, you're like, oh, this movie is different than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Better.
I didn't know this was a ninja sitch.
Yeah, also bright red ninja to blend in for the camouflage of the Blood Knight.
The worst ninja.
Yeah, just a neon green ninja. So we see the ninja like assault a man, and we see it's a very small ninja, and then it's his kid. It's Halloween. Fuck this. Thought it was gonna have ninjas. Whatever.
Yeah.
We were robbed of ninjas.
The binoculars pan up to a skylight. So then we see from the view looking down of a now open skylight, we see Mayor Mitchell. We see Don Mitchell. He's watching the news, basically talking about how he kind of got his dick pushed in the dirt during his mayoral debate with Bella Real.
Yep. And he's like, could things get any worse for me?
Yeah, he's like, this is a bad night for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it a night. And then Bella Real basically calling him out, and he's like, I'm high on crime. She's like, man, you've been riding the Maroney case for a while, and shit ain't changed. And she's like, we also have a Batman out here somewhere.
Yeah, that seems like a failure.
Yeah. Like
It doesn't seem like you really have your things under control if we've got this hot new drug on the streets and we got a penguin guy running around and also there's a Batman. We got a Batman problem.
Yeah. That would be like, I would love to see the mayoral debate during the Warriors.
Yeah. We have themed gangs.
Yeah, we have so many.
We have photographs with you and the baseball Furies.
Yeah. It turns out we have very few people that are not in themed gangs.
Yeah. Honestly, they look like fun and everybody was joining. So.
Yeah, we just rolled in.
And I figured I'd go with the guys who just carry bats as part of their theme.
Yeah.
So he gets a phone call. And so he moves to grab it. The light from the TV shows us the fucking Riddler right behind him.
Yeah.
And it is upsetting.
I want to stop, and I'm sure other people have pointed this out, but I'm going to have to keep reminding people of this idea throughout, is that just imagine the Jim Carrey Riddler in this scene. And it is way more unnerving. I would argue that you could take the Jim Carrey Riddler and put him in this movie, replace Paul Dano, and he would be just as terrifying for different reasons. And this is the first example of that.
Yeah.
Right. Like
if
he said joygasm right before beating somebody with a carpet chisel, then yes. That would be
awesome.
He'd
beat him with that cane.
Yeah, an entirely different, equally good movie. Now, I do like the idea, though. It wouldn't have been neat. Paul Dano was great, but imagine if they got, like, modern Jim Carrey to play the role. That would have been neat, too.
Yeah.
Now that he's like, I can act. Oh, I should do that then.
You could switch the actors for the two Riddlers, and it would be fine.
So, and he gets the call and he's like, why is she fucking tied still? Thought we were getting a bump. He hangs up. He's like, fuck this. Call me in the morning. And the last thing we see on the TV is Bella Real being like, the people need a leader, not a cheerleader. And he's like, fuck this. He turns it off.
It's like, I'm getting massacred.
And he takes a drink, steps away, and you hear the Riddler make like a hog howl.
Yeah.
He's really unhinged in this movie.
And the murder happens. And I'm like, when I saw this in the theater, I wanted to pull out my phone and be like, what is this rated?
This opening half hour, really. Well, yeah. This whole like opening sequence, I really thought, you just reminded me that this movie is not rated R.
Right.
It should very much be rated R.
And there has to be at least a handful of families in America that didn't watch a trailer for whatever reason and took the kids to see the new Batman. Right? Being like, oh, it's a new Batman. I love the Batmans. And having quite the surprise in just the first 5 minutes.
A lot of people asked me if they should take their kid to this movie. And I was like,
yes.
Like, where is your kid emotionally?
Right. Yeah. It's just, what kind of things do they doodle?
Yeah. Does your kid draw fires? Because, take him.
Yeah.
It's going to become his personality. But it is definitely like when you see them and the murder, and it's so unnerving and brutal. He has like a bloody tool that we'll find more out about later. He gets back up, grabs it, unrolls his duct tape. He is coming.
Oh yeah. He's shooting ropes this whole time. Yeah.
Oh, he's just
That's
like,
what
it's
that sound he made was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is wearing a gimp mask.
Yeah, he's wearing and he's wearing like rain slicker overalls.
Yeah.
Or coveralls.
Yeah.
Like,
listen, man, you
know?
got to wear rubber. It soaks it all up.
yeah, you can't be leaving DNA all over a mayoral crime scene.
Exactly.
So the thunder crashes, it goes black. That's how we're introduced to this movie, and it's not going to relax.
No, it really
this movie
doesn't.
never calms down.
No, it stays at this level.
Yeah.
For 3 hours, Jeff.
Yes. Now, so Batman. Now we're introduced to Batman because we're like, wow, that was crazy. Can't get much crazier than that. And then we see that Bruce is basically Rorschach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He speaks.
Yeah.
He really does. Like, all his narration felt right out of like Watchmen.
Yeah.
Yes. 2 years of nights have turned me into a nocturnal animal. I must choose my targets carefully. Like, yada, yada, yada.
He's the one that's like filling notebooks like the Seven murderer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And he's just I love this whole sequence where they introduce us to Batman, which I guess you'll describe in a second. But I love that they play him like a vampire. Like he's like he moves very slowly. He kind of like oozes out of the darkness like a Nosferatu type guy. And so it's like I guess Robert Pattinson is like stunt casting in that way.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, he played a vampire, so just like get him to do Batman as a vampire.
Yeah.
But he played a vampire that probably never was in the shadows.
That's true.
I never saw those movies, but it seems like the whole point of those is that he's just like, I sparkle.
There are very few scenes that actually take place at night.
They're different.
in the Twilight movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two very different
like,
types
maybe we
of
should-
vampires.
Yeah,
I know.
Let's get this fucker in a shadow. He deserves it. One of the things I love, and we're going to get into that, by the way, but as Batman reveals himself through the sound effects, the way they do it, whoever like the Foley artist is or whatever, they put a very, very delicate spur sound when he walks.
Yeah.
Which is probably like the best sound choice.
It is
Like,
really cool.
He has like sheriff. He walks like he's the sheriff of this town. Anyway, so
The Bat Sheriff. Yeah.
so we have a montage of various crimes. A guy that's in like a ghost/onion mask.
It's like it's the drop mascot. Like the hot new drug on the street in this movie is drops, and they have their own mascots.
Oh shit! Yeah, that makes sense. He's
That's
just
really good
basically like
branding for
he's
drugs.
a weed flower, basically. Yeah. It's
Oh, man.
and you hear. And he's robbing the convenience store as Batman's like, it's a big city. I can't be everywhere. And we see a dude get lit on fire in the background, which is like a weird way to show crime.
Yeah, and it's like, maybe you should be there, Batman.
Yeah, that would
Maybe
that's
that would
where
probably
you
be
should lit on fire.
that would be the one that I would pick if you had to pick one.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, this is not a Batman that saves people. That's kind of, I guess, the through line of this movie is that he's not a savior. He is a retaliation.
He's vengeance.
Yeah.
One would say.
And yes. Boy, is it going to be a heavy-handed mirroring situation here as we get through the later parts.
In this sequence, we're also meeting Gotham for the first time. Because I don't know about you guys, I was like, what kind of Gotham are we going to get?
Yeah.
Because are we going to get
Times
Are we
Square.
going to get just Chicago, like in the Nolans?
Are we going to get Art Deco Sexnasium, like the Joel Schumacher movie?
And it looks like this one felt like they took Chicago and New York and just redressed it. Like, did I see the Empire State Building, but just with like Gotham written on it?
So it's essentially, I'm thinking what they're going for is, and I hate using his phrasing, but it does for the time in. It's pre-Giuliani Times Square.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like it's pre-Giuliani New
70s.
York.
It's Taxi Driver.
It's sort of, it's not quite the Taxi Driver level. It's like after, it's like maybe like Ed Koch.
Yeah, you could argue it's unfortunately as it could probably be the Joker universe, right? Of the movie Joker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they feel like the same Gotham.
Yeah, this starts as Taxi Driver better than Joker did.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
You know. So and basically we see these guys that are doing some spray painting, they torch a bank, and that part's good. And we see on a subway, we see some juggalo kind of guys watching them playing the knockout game on their phones, laughing.
Yeah. Are they on TikTok? Are they doing like social meds?
Yeah, they're influencers, Dave.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, one of them is PewDiePie.
That's why Batman chooses them.
Yeah, that checks out.
He didn't even know they were going to violence.
I want you to tell all your TikTok followers about me.
What was you guys' favorite Juggalo makeup of this group?
The guy with half the Juggalo makeup.
Oh,
Okay.
I was going to say, I like the main guy who looks like he has like a skeleton mustache.
Oh, yeah. I liked Cross Forehead. I wish there was some Kiss like inspiration. Like if it was like the cat
Just
one.
one dude dressed
a
like
star.
Kiss.
Yeah, the Starman.
Like everybody else is a clown and one dude is just Space Ace. Thought we were doing Kiss.
It's like the one kid in your group of friends. You're like, all right, we're playing Ninja Turtles. You're like, I'm Leonardo. I'm Donatello. I'm Michelangelo. I'm RoboCop.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember him being in this, but all right. So Batman brings up the bat signal and he's like, it's not just a call, it's a warning. And then we see the robber guy sort of like look into the shadows and then he like kind of gets back up before getting hit by a car and the guy calls him a fucking drophead.
Yep.
Or a stupid drophead. The helicopters are spotlighting. They get the spray paint guys. He's like, they think I'm in the shadows, but I am the shadows. And a spray can rolls into the shadows, and then they all run, and we see that they had spray painted broke
Yep.
on the bank pillars.
I will argue this is the best version of introducing the bat signal I've seen in a Batman movie. I remember The Dark Knight, I believe, has a scene similar to this where like the signal goes up and there's like the criminal who's like, oh, not tonight, man. But it's so like ham-fisted in that. Like this like did a really good job at making me go, oh, I get it now. I fully get it. Which is he could be anywhere. When the signal comes out, every shadow it's like a horror movie for the criminals. It's great.
What's funny though is that also doesn't make sense in a haphazard way, because let's say, for example, there's a huge fire in one part of your city. You could just light a fire in the other side.
Right.
And it'll burn. So like if you're a criminal and you see the bat symbol out, be like, well, he's clearly busy. So I'm gonna go do my thing. That's the other part of it. Whenever I see it, it looks like a no vacancy or a vacancy sign. You see the light up there, and you're like, all right, I guess.
You're right. That's why in this one I interpret it as it's almost like them just saying, "Bat's out." Like this light means the bat's out. So
like
you just don't
time
know.
Clock. Like it's this punching in the time clock.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's Batman time.
It's training day when Alonzo comes to the one neighborhood. They start flipping pigeons so everybody knows he's there.
Yeah. Now, this nice middle-aged Asian gentleman gets up and leaves, and the gang follows him, and he turns around and he's like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
And he starts to run because he knows he's about to get beaten, and they kind of get him. But then right when they're about to, you hear like slow thudding footsteps. He comes out like the bear Jew.
Yeah.
He does.
Like just letting people know that there's something. And then he comes out.
He's Dracula. He does the Dracula thing.
And this guy's just like, what the hell are you supposed to be? And that's where we come in. And I wrote, like, he's been a thing for 2 years.
Yeah, it really is. Like the rest of his friends probably in the moment were like, whoa. Like they're like afterwards, after they get their ass kicked, they're going to be like, have you you did not hear of that man? Like, what did you think that the light was in the sky? You just weren't curious about it at all, huh? Like you were just completely like, is he one of those people who's just like, he doesn't have a cell phone and he's like really snobbish about it? And he says like, like I read the paper, but he doesn't actually. So he just doesn't know about the Batman period. Is that what happened?
What if he's transferred management from a different district?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where they're like, don't tell him, let him find out.
Let him
It'll
figure
be
it
fun.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, he showed up from Metropolis after dudes were getting dropped off buildings. He's just like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Thank God I left all that behind me.
So he's like, who the hell are you supposed to be? And he just goes, I'm vengeance. And beats the ever-living Christ out of this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy pisses himself 100%.
He beats the Holy Spirit out of his body.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good to see. Because all of his friends are looking at it like, yeah, we probably should have seen this one.
Yeah. He doesn't leave with his friends, does he? Like he's there for the rest of I would argue the movie. Like he's just crumpled lying in that subway
for like several days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
Until someone finds him. Yeah.
He separated a disc in his neck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Somebody finding a battered juggalo skeleton man on the ground, you'd be like, good luck, dude.
This must be
exactly.
like, when you're walking down like Hollywood Boulevard, and they have all the people in costumes there.
Right.
This would be like, you see like some dude in a really cool costume, like, oh, what's this guy's deal? That's this is like the same moment as like having one of those dudes start whispering really chilling 9/11 conspiracy theories in your ear. Because this is like the moment we realize, okay, like the costume's not fun. The costume means this guy's a fucking maniac. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
Because
we're no longer having fun now.
Right. For this juggalo who doesn't know who Batman is, it is Halloween. So he is probably just like, oh, look at this asshole going to a party or something.
Yeah, this situation goes from north to south instantly.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's having the night of his life.
Yeah.
And immediately it becomes the worst night of his life.
About to get his young friend the other side of his juggalo face. It's like, we're going to get the rest of your face tonight, chum.
Right.
And he's just like, I'm a little nervous about hurting people. He's like, don't worry. A weirdo in armor is going to break my collarbone real quick.
It's like being at a Halloween party and meeting someone named dressed as a Frankenstein, and then learning that they are in fact a Frankenstein.
Yeah. You're like those bolts look real, and it's like,
yeah, exactly.
This guy wearing fake ears is going to ruin my life. Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah. There's going to be a scene later that we're going to discuss that just the way people react to this character, because we never see it this way. We've never seen it where when people are faced with this person, especially like in the light, they're just like, this is a fucking maniac.
Yeah. This is I want to tell you guys this now, so it's in your head throughout the entire episodes we're going to record. Watching this version of Bruce has my headcanon for this is that he smells like shit.
Oh yeah,
that Alfred keeps having to tell him to shower.
Yeah, like this,
like
Batman
the mother of
stinks.
like a mother of a 15-year-old boy.
He smells like garbage.
I bet he smells like a 15-year-old boy's room.
Yeah,
yeah. So then he sees the bat signal, and he's like, I got to get to work. And the dude who was about to he's like, please don't hurt me. He's like, did you not see me do, whatever?
Did he? What? Did he just sort of leave after that? I guess he would have, right?
Yeah, he doesn't help the guy up or anything.
He should ask him for like a tip.
Yeah, ask him for a ride.
Cough, put his hand out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next morning we wake up to find all of their ears are missing, and then that guy has a new necklace of ears.
Batman just very casually drops a business card that has his Cash App handle on it.
Yeah.
And his Instagram.
Yeah.
His Instagram.
Don't forget to use the hashtag. So Batman rolls up to the crime scene, and Gordon is walking him in, and all the cops are just eyeing this fucker like he's just not supposed to be there. Because
so good. Nobody, you're right. Nobody ever points this out in any piece of Batman media that we've seen up to this point. Not really. Like sometimes it'll be like, what are you supposed to be? Or like, nice outfit, like Jack Nicholson in the original.
Yeah, but these guys are like, this asshole.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they're like, who is this fucking maniac in a cape that you're bringing to the crime? Like the murder scene of the mayor, and you're bringing this guy in a cape.
So
go ahead.
Here's the thing, cops, they're like, they still have that broy attitude, right? Like I guarantee most cops are like sword guys, right? Like they like the fact that they're wearing guns and shit, right? So
and they think that they're the only ones that can do it.
Right. Yeah, I know why they're mad at him, but I am surprised none of them like made small talk. It'd be like, what kind of armor you got there? Like, what's going on there? Like I'd have questions for Batman if I was just like, because they're just like casually in a room with Batman, which very rarely does that happen for anybody in this city, right? To just be in a room to be in a room with Batman where he's not kicking the crap out of someone, where he's just like hanging out.
Yeah, doing some mysteries.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would ask him some stuff or try to see how he's doing, how his night's going.
How much you lifting, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you get those? What are the ears? Are those tactical?
Yeah.
What's the point of the ears, man? I mean, I get the bat thing, but you look silly.
Right.
Anyway, so also, I would like to say that Martinez should have got a Best Supporting Actor.
His voice.
Yeah.
My God.
His through line through this whole
Oh,
movie is fantastic.
He's the guy who shows up, and he's like, "You can't have Batman here, right?" And then Gordon's like, "But he solved the riddle."
Well, that's Pete. So that's the commissioner.
Oh, okay, okay.
Martinez is the Sam Rockwell-esque lieutenant or sergeant or whatever,
who has a through line. He's the guy who kind of likes Batman by the end, right?
Oh wait, I thought we were talking about the chief, the guy who has that "listen to me" that really exaggerated cop voice.
I drink so much water every time that dude talks.
That guy is killing it. He's so good.
Guy.
Yeah, he looks like Edward James almost fell in the Fountain of Youth for a little bit.
Just a little bit. He rolled around in the Lazarus pit for a little bit.
Just a quick dip. And so they let him through, and we see the mayor. And he's in his chair, his face fully duct taped, with his hand in a paper bag, and it says "No More Lies" written on his face. And we see that he's with the homicide detective Also, by the way, the homicide detective is side-eyeing Batman the whole time.
Right.
Because Gordon's like, "What? Tell me and my cool mystery friend what happened."
Right. And Batman is just... I love the scenes when he's not beating people up, because he just... It's clear he doesn't have any idea how to be a person. He's just standing there like a weird vampire with his cape.
And Gordon should have been fired so many times, right?
The instant he brought this dude around.
The instant. It's so weird they don't immediately go, "Okay, put handcuffs on the Batman and we're gonna take Gordon out of here." Because I don't care how corrupt we are or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just it's an entire police station full of people going, "What the fuck, Gordon?" And Gordon just being like, "Just roll with it. Just roll with it."
He's cool.
And it's like, no, dude. What are you doing?
He's my friend.
He is not cool.
He is not your friend. It's cool. It's cool. It's not cool. It's not cool, Jim.
It really isn't. There's a child there. His family's there, and the family would see that and go, "Well, that's a lawsuit right there." Yeah. The cops just brought in a Batman to investigate my husband's death.
They have a man in a cape standing there trying to solve this mystery.
Yeah. The family must be like, "Okay, apparently one of the cops was at a Halloween party as Dracula when this happened." He was tactical. He was Tacula. He was tactical Dracula.
Tacula. Oh shit! Batman, tactical Dracula sums him up so well.
Yeah. So the detective's like, "All right, well, blunt force trauma, lacerations to the head. He got hit kind of a lot and kind of hard." And then he shows him the bleeding hand missing a thumb, and Batman goes, "He cut it off when he was alive." And they're just like, "What?" And he goes, "Echinosis around the wound." And they're like, "Okay." And then he's like, "I was going to walk around this room looking." And he finds some blood on the ground, and a photographer's like, "Ooh, I missed that." And it's just a gouge in blood. And it's like, "Did you miss that?"
Right. Yeah.
And we see that the Riddler has been leaving 50s greeting cards.
Yeah, he must have bulk bought those, right? Online or something?
He has to specially make these. They're so specific, he has to have made these himself. Yeah, but they're clearly printed and manufactured.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he went to Kinko's.
Yeah, check Sticker Mule.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and see.
Yeah, he did this on
MailChimp
or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, from his Etsy. He's got his own little Riddler Etsy. So it says, "From your secret friend who," and then you open it says, "Haven't a clue? Let's play a game, just me and you." That would never be a greeting card.
Right, yeah, he made this.
That would have never been a greeting card. A secret admirer greeting card that's like, "I could kill you." That would never
Let's play a game to figure out my name. It's like, okay.
Yeah. But in Riddler font, it says, "What does a liar do when he's dead?" as well as a cipher. And I also want to say that everybody here is so proud of how they solve dumb riddles.
Yes. Another game I played during this, along with Jim Carrey Riddler, is the world where Batman's bad at riddles. I've always wanted to see it. And so I either want to see him like discreetly Googling it, like in the background while everybody's like mulling it over, or just spending the entire movie on a single riddle.
You're not wrong,
Just
because
really getting frustrated with it.
Yeah.
there is a riddle that it takes quite a while for them to like break down the alternate answers for it, which we'll get to, where there's a part where like it could be this or this or this, and it never touches on the other very specific thing it could be.
Oh, the rat with wings.
Which we'll get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It could
Yeah.
be,
You guys-
it could be
you guys
any
know
number
that's
of
a
type
bat,
of birds. And it's like bats are rodents.
Yeah, he keeps
The
going.
rats with
It's
wings.
a pigeon, a stool pigeon. Yeah, or a fucking bat.
Yeah. Or it could be you,
Yeah.
Bruce.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's like, what could it possibly be?
Also-
Perhaps a penguin has wings.
A penguin. Yeah, that's right. Gordon says a penguin also has wings. Okay, we're getting so far from the riddle now, guys.
Hey, it's like, you know who else has wings? Look at your cape. Why do you have a cape? Is there a reason you have a cape?
Has anyone,
Maybe to simulate
has
some
anyone
wings?
ever called a penguin a rat with wings, fellas? Come on.
A cold rat.
Also, Dave, he does have his little computer eyes, so he could be Googling these
You're
riddles.
right. Alfred could be at home
Alfred's like
computing it.
Googling them.
Right, because later he's like Alfred's doing his homework later in the movie where he's like, I'm going through this cipher for you, Bruce.
It's very funny because the commissioner shows up, and the commissioner is an aggressive stereotype of a cop.
Yeah.
Oh
where
yeah.
he's like he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You gonna bring this motherfucker in here?
Right, and again, and that's when they're like, he solved the riddle, and it's like again, you could Google it. Like we don't need Batman to solve the like that doesn't give him merit.
Yeah,
He is a
because
Batman.
The commissioner's like, this guy's involved in this, and Batman just goes, he lies still, and he goes, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
And he's like, look at you. He goes, Jesus, this must be your favorite night of the year, huh, pal? Happy fucking Halloween. And I was like, ooh, they used up that F word real early
Yeah.
in their
Sure
PG-13 movie. Wouldn't it have been really funny if Batman was just like, thank you.
I like humorless
as well.
Batman who like it all goes over his head.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's been a good night, actually.
And also with you.
Yes. Then Martinez goes up to the commissioner. He's like, hey, we got to give our statement. And he goes, I want this guy out of here now.
Yeah.
And on the way out, Batman finds the kid, like his son. They find out that the son found him. And Batman just stares at the kid for a while. And this is
where
one of my
again
favorite
they're
things.
like, you seriously got to get that guy out of there.
While
He's knocking
Nirvana
at the
starts
kid.
playing.
Gordon
well,
literally
Gordon-
says, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Well, but it's beyond that too, because we actually get Gordon is still a little bit like kind of furry on this guy because he goes, we gotta go, man. Like he keeps calling him like man because like it's almost like he's gonna talk someone down.
Yeah.
He's just like, we gotta go, bro. Like, let's get out of here. Like, we gotta go, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
it happens a few times throughout the movie. Like, like he still doesn't. Gordon doesn't have quite a total grasp on who Batman is at this point. So yeah, he does.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few times where it's like, come on, man, don't do that.
Yeah.
There's a line where he's like, you don't trust me? He's like, I don't know you.
Yeah, I don't know who you are.
So no, I don't fully trust you. I'm sorry. All right. So then the next morning, now we're on November 1st.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. We're on November 1st, and we see the commissioner giving his press conference in the daylight as we see Bruce putting on his bike helmet, and nobody was just like, hey, that famous billionaire has black eye makeup on.
Yeah. So there's a few parts where he like later with Catwoman, he like rides his motorcycle with her. And I'm very curious about the transition there. Does like Batman put the helmet over his Batman mask, or does he be like turn around and like quickly swap them?
Maybe he wears like a cheap domino mask under there or something.
Right. And like, is he wearing the bat suit in this scene, or did he like go to like a Walmart bathroom
I
and
think
like
he's in his
quickly
civvies, yeah.
He's in his Matchstick Malone costume right now.
Okay.
He's just wearing
because
street clothes.
This
He's
is
got a
the
backpack.
morning, right? He's still been up all night.
Yes.
So
yes.
like after this scene, he went and he changed in an alleyway or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then he got on his motorcycle,
Yep.
and he's got to have killer swamp ass, and he's still up just watching this fucking press conference.
Yeah.
And it's like, go home, man.
Well, because what happens is he goes home, he puts his little bike helmet on, and he goes home to write in his little diary. And he laments about how crime has gone up since he arrived. He drives his motorcycle down some subway stairs and into a secret bat cave that actually looks like the bat cave would look, which is gross.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
I'm telling you, he smells like dumpster juice.
Oh yeah, he's disgusting. And then he's watching his greatest hits. You didn't mention that Nirvana starts playing.
I did, but it was very quick.
Oh, okay. In the bat cave, does he turn down Nirvana? Like, do they make it a thing where it's where like he's actually listening to it?
No, it's not diegetic.
No, it's just them doing it.
Are we sure?
So
I could have sworn he turns a knob and the music goes down.
I think no, he's turning the knob because he's studying his homework. He was studying his night.
Right.
It's like
and
when you listen to a
match
podcast.
it with Nirvana, but it just put the thought in my head that he's got some fucking AirPods on and he's been listening to Nirvana like the whole night.
I mean,
which I wouldn't put past him.
It would be extremely not surprising if he was.
Not at all. Yeah.
Like it didn't happen in this movie, but in a way it should have happened in this movie.
Right.
So he's uploading his contact lenses while he journals, and he talks about, he's like, sometimes I can't even remember what happened, so I have to remind myself. And I'm like, that's fucking
that's because you're doing a whole lot of speed and staying up for 36 hours.
So much, dude. He's like, all right, he's got shell corporations just for Adderall.
Yes.
So he's watching the footage while the news is on in the background, and they casually bring up that almost exactly 2 decades ago, the Waynes were murdered during Thomas Wayne's mayoral campaign.
Womp, womp.
And he looks up to see Alfred come in and like limp over to him. And he watches the footage with him and he's like, oh, fuck. That is fucked. And then he's like, Bruce prints out the cipher because he like scans it, does whatever. And then Alfred, he's like, oh, you're becoming a bit of celebrity, because the card was written to him. He's like, why don't you go wash up, buddy? Our accounting friends at Wayne Enterprises are on their way. And he's like, here, why? And he's like, because you won't go there, asshole.
This is one of the first conversations, right, where he reminds Alfred that he's not a Wayne. Like, he keeps reminding him throughout this movie.
Yeah,
he's like, you're not my father. Yeah, he's a real jerk to Alfred.
He's an asshole in this.
He is. This is my favorite interpretation of Bruce when they do the character this way, which they've done in a few of the other things that we've covered on the show. But he hates having to be a person. He resents it. And
so, he's a little weirdo.
The resentment spreads out onto Alfred as well, because Alfred's trying to get him. It's like, okay, look, you're sure you're Batman. Okay, fine, you're the Knight, but you still have like responsibilities because you like own a company that has employees and shit.
It's the best version, because I think like you look at like the Christian Bale version where he's doing Patrick Bateman basically, and they just have him be like aloof and not like caring about the business, but like a playboy. And it's like, okay, that's one way of doing it for like an older Bruce Wayne. But like this young emo motherfucker, I love that he's just so creepy and weird.
Yeah.
And he's just and Alfred's just like, will you just fucking like, just go outside, you pale little shit. Yeah. You creep us all out. Like, it's great.
The other thing about this that's important, though, is like Alfred's big thing is like, look, man, if you're going to do this and you need the gravy train to keep moving, you have to play the other side of the coin here. Like that's the thing that to me I am enjoying the most about Alfred is he's like, if you're going to be a fucking psycho, then you need to do the other side.
And he says like we're running out of money.
You need to fund your psychosis.
Again, ask for tips, go on social media, all that. Yeah. He's got to, if he's going to just do Batman, then he's got to make money as Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start leaving your Venmo.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I don't care about that, any of that. And he's like, you don't care about your family's legacy. And Bruce looks at him like he's from space. And he goes, what I'm doing is my family's legacy.
Yeah.
He's like, isn't.
I think
Bruce.
Watching that out loud, I was like,
he is so pathological.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, if I can't have an effect, I don't care what happens to me. And then Bruce is like, you're not my real dad. And he's like, yeah, I know. And then he like storms off in a huff to go shower.
Yeah.
Leaving the video on the kid with the dead dad. And Alfred's just like, the cipher. So we see Bruce getting dressed. He's actually pretty shredded. I like that he threw that he wasn't working out for Batman. I thought it was hilarious when he said that.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because he did,
all the
and he
nerds
just pretended
cried
he
about
didn't.
it. It's so funny. It's like my favorite thing to do is to troll comic book movie fans because they're oftentimes the worst.
Right.
Oftentimes.
Yes.
Not
sure.
us though. We're the best.
No. We've monetized it. We're clearly the
We're
best.
the coolest.
So we're so cool. There's some he comes out and you see he's got scars on his back and stuff, but he's got like mad traps and a pretty ripped, shredded back.
Right.
And then he shows up and Alfred's like, there's some fresh berries over there. And he's like, this reminds me of my time in the circus. And I was like, that's your name. Your name is Circus.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
There you
shit.
go. But he's talking about.
Good job, Jeffrey. Good job.
He's probably this is drawing from our knowledge of Alfred Pennyworth, the origins of Batman's butler, like the hit TV show.
So good.
But when he says, "This reminds me of that days in the circus," or whatever, he's like cheekily referring to his time in the army, right?
I would think so, yeah.
When he was in Burma? Is this when he was in Burma?
And he
And he found the
source of a
gems, the signs of a tangerine, yeah.
tangerine.
I would still like to add, now that since I have access to people that may be listening for free, watch Pennyworth. It is the wildest shit. It's so fun.
I need to watch that, yeah.
I watched this on HBO Max, and it opens with a Pennyworth trailer, and
Nice.
I cannot believe it's a show.
It's
Really excited to
it's
watch it.
wild to me. It is wild to me that it has, and it at whatever direction you think Pennyworth is going in, you're wrong, and it's so much better than what you think. It's so good. All right, so he also shows like he's solving the cipher, and Bruce is like, "Ooh, how'd you figure these things out?" And he's basically like explaining how to do a Sudoku.
Yeah. Like this is how you do
He's
the,
like
this is how you do
explaining
the
the
jumble,
most-
man.
Yeah. He's showing the word jumble, and he's just like, and this is what you got to do. You find the double wows because, and it's sitting there, and then it's like that's not that, and Bruce is like, that's really impressive, and it's like,
No, it's the cryptograms.
this is like
you can play it's an
fifth
app.
grader does this, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is silly. And then Dory shows up and's like, the accountants are here, and then we just never see the meeting.
I would love to see that meeting, but
That's
yeah.
all I
we don't.
wanted was. That's the one thing Christopher Nolan wasn't afraid to do.
Yeah.
I want to see how.
Yeah, he was
I
like,
wanna
everybody
see-
wants to see Batman in a meeting.
I want to see how Bruce sits during that meeting. Like, I want to
Oh,
see how
yeah.
this Bruce behaves during that. Like, would he be
It's-
perched on the chair?
I feel like every 10 minutes the accountants would go, so he's okay, right? Is he okay?
Yeah. Is he talking to someone?
Like, Alfred would keep having to chase him out from under the table. Now, Bruce, get out from under the table. Come on, sit down.
Come on, Mr. Wayne. But it is very fun. Like I've took for granted how much Christopher Nolan covered the business aspect.
He really did.
It's very
Wayne
funny, yeah.
We really got with Lucius was a major character, so we got to see so much about how Wayne Enterprises functioned.
We got so much.
Oh man,
Like an upsetting amount to the point where I'm looking back at it now and I'm like, I don't think I appreciated how much Christopher Nolan spent in the boardroom.
it's a real
All right.
it's a real post 9/11 Bush
Yeah.
era movie. It's
Yeah.
fucking wealth is awesome. Anyway,
Yeah, but we never see the meeting. They immediately cut to Bruce being like, maybe it isn't a partial key, but a whole key. And then Alfred's like, that doesn't.
what?
No. No.
Sure, man. Whatever.
And he's just like, find all the symbols that we don't have letters for and remove them. And then we see the word drive show up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sure.
Oh,
What if it just
that's the one.
it just cuts to immediately to the next scene is Bruce watching the movie Drive.
Yeah. I don't see the clues.
With
And then
Ryan
he picks
Gosling.
up a hammer.
He would love that movie, though.
Oh yeah,
he would
I'm
fucking
sure he
love
watches it all the
Drive.
time.
Yeah.
He just goes, he looks at it and shows up and he just goes, I love that movie.
Yeah.
He just whispers it to himself.
Yeah, to no one, to the room.
Yeah.
This is the best movie I've ever seen.
It says Fight Club as it comes up. Hell yeah. So now we cut to the garage where Gordon and Batman are walking into the garage looking for a car.
See,
And
it's
this is
a
the-
drive as in car, but also a thumb drive.
Yeah. And,
Very smart Riddler.
I'm going to be 100% honest. From a screenwriting perspective, the riddle stuff that ends up going into this is unbelievable. Like this is a nearly perfectly written movie. There are problems in it, but like all the clue stuff and all the riddle stuff, it's incredible.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun, and this is, I think I mentioned on the recording, but this is only my second time watching the movie. But they match up with the like. There's none of them are sort of like throwaway. They all tie into what his.
I'm not like in Batman Forever.
Yeah, when they just don't have anything to do with anything.
And Chase Meridian's like, this guy is jerking off to you. He's gonna kill you.
No, like considering that they're doing like a gritty version of the Riddler, it is very much the Riddler. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of cheeky, he's having fun.
Yeah, but he's also the Zodiac killer.
He's also the Zodiac, yeah.
And it's very funny. So they find the car because it's got the shears from the thumb buried in the tire. And they're like, well, this is it. So they go and looking around. He's like, what are we looking for? He's like, USB port. And he's like, all right. And they find it with a human thumb attached.
Yes.
And he holds it up and he goes, thumb drive. And then they find out it's encrypted at the computer. And Batman holds up the thumb and he goes, try this. And they click on it and a little thumb, like a fingerprint scanner shows up. Yep. And fucking Gordon just goes, oh, this guy's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, it's very funny. He's like, oh, fuck this guy.
Yeah. This guy's a real dirtbag.
Now, I want to stop and say, again, Gordon should be fired. Because right now they have a piece of evidence, right? And he's out here in this parking lot with Batman. And you have this thumb drive that you have to plug into a computer. What you should do if you were a cop is say, I'm going to bring this into the police station. We're going to give it to a tech person.
To the
and
police
we're going to be
store.
very careful with whatever this is. Perhaps plug it into a computer that isn't attached to the internet. I don't know. Who knows what it could do when I plug this in?
I have no idea what's on that drive.
Yeah, I am a cop, a serious cop. I shouldn't just plug it into my laptop.
But is he a serious cop? His partner at the moment is a man in armor.
Yeah.
That's true. Again, he should be fired. That's what I'm saying.
A man that we find out has a flying squirrel suit inside of his regular suit.
Yeah, he sure does.
He's palling around with a Halloween American Gladiator.
Right.
Yeah. So a bunch of photos pop up with the mayor, and we see a mystery woman with a like kind of a beat up face, which they just ignore the beaten up face.
They don't care. I thought it was like her eye makeup was running.
Oh, I mean, to me it looks like she's gotten her face roughed up, but that's
no. I mean, that's maybe it is. Yeah, I wasn't sure. But anyway. The point is the mayor is with a distraught-looking woman who is clearly not his wife.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm like looking them up. I can't seem to find them on the internet. Poor me. So they're like, oh Jesus, and they're just like, that's the Penguin, and Batman's like, yeah, I know who that guy is. And then we hear like a whooshing sound, and it's like, whoops,
exactly.
That shit just got sent everywhere from Gordon's account.
Gordon's email. So Gordon's
that's a firing.
Like fucking emailing TMZ and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he Gotham Tonight from Jim Gordon gets like the dirt on the mayor.
Very bad police work.
Yes.
I'm going to get in trouble for this. He turns around and Batman's gone.
He doesn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. We're going to get in trouble. Puts on his squirrel suit, like tripping over himself, trying to get his squirrel suit on.
Just trying to put it on,
he can fly away.
We're on the second floor.
Jumps out anyway.
And so he's like, it's the Iceberg Lounge. He's like, that's out on the docks. That's where, he's like, basically like, that's where, what's his name?
Penguin.
Carmine Falcone is.
Yeah.
And that's where the Penguin is. He's like, ain't nobody getting there without a warrant. And Batman looks at him like, sure. It's a very sure Jan look that he has there.
I think he literally says, yeah, doesn't he?
He's like, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're
so
right.
he
I guess
goes
we'll
up
need a
and
warrant.
knocks on the fucking door.
This honestly is one of my favorite parts of the whole movie.
It is
so
pretty
good.
great. Yeah, it's so good.
he walks up to the lounge in the rain. He knocks on the door, and the bouncer opens the door and looks at him, and it's Batman.
Yeah.
Knocked on the door.
Yeah, you should feel lucky that Batman is knocking, right?
Right.
Like if Batman's knocking on your door, like I don't know if you should feel lucky or more disturbed. I would actually be a little more disturbed. And then it's like,
40 pounds of armor and a cape.
And he's like, I just want to talk to you. And it's like, oh, shit.
I don't think
if anybody with a cape knocks on your door and asks to be invited in.
Right, exactly. Fuck. You see there, it's more vampire stuff. He has
Dracula,
he has to ask to be let in.
Yeah. I'm wondering if you would invite me in to talk to the Penguin.
You have to invite me.
And
I don't think I want to.
That's a great scene in the What We Do in the Shadows movie, how the guys like won't invite him into the thing.
Yeah.
All right, so the bouncer opens the door. He goes, "You know who I am?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think I got an idea. I want to see the Penguin." He goes, "I don't know what you're talking about, that pal." He closes the door in his face and then opens it, and his twin is with him.
Yeah,
I love it. They have twin henchmen. It's such a awesome.
It's another
like animated series.
Thing,
yeah,
right.
Batman
It's another thing. I love that this movie, as gritty as it is, still recognizes that there's a ceiling. There's a limit to the grittiness that Batman can be, where they're like, there's always going to be a little bit of silliness, and this is that. Yeah. Where they're like, yeah, but the goons have to be fun, right? And it's like, yeah, no matter how gritty it is, let's have some twin goons in here.
Yeah, give us some goon twins.
Yeah.
And he beats these men maliciously.
Yeah.
Oh man, the guy when he throws the bat into that guy's face.
Okay. That is a crucial point of the movie. They may like it goes beyond that because so he just kind of walks in through the dance floor and he's just beating dudes along the way. Like
it's a good old fashioned walk and beat.
Yeah,
it's so good. And so he wrestles a fucking a metal baseball bat away from a dude and like breaks his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And then a guy that we find out later is a cop gets the drop on him and yells him to put the bat down or he'll blow his head off. And Batman just whips the bat in his fucking face.
Awesome. It rules. And
Batman.
And then he shoots one of the twins through the leg with his grappling gun.
That is upsetting.
Yeah.
So, because the twins get him with a shotgun and he literally shoots a grappling hook through one of their legs. And I'm like, dude, you are cold-blooded.
He is.
This is in the middle of the club, and I feel like the rest of the club is loving it. Because I want to say, as a general rule, if you're at a nightclub that Batman shows up at and starts getting in fights, you're in a cool nightclub.
I would love to see the ninja rap portion of this.
Yeah.
Fight. Where there's a guy being like, "I love this place."
Yeah. Look at those costumes.
That's the sign of a good nightclub.
Right, yeah, like you'd be sitting there and like Batman shows up and says like, "I want to speak to, whatever," and then starts fighting 18 dudes in the middle of the dance floor. You'd be like, "I picked the right place."
Yeah.
Yeah. I demand to talk to the manager.
He's just mad that they kicked him out last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the live, laugh,
he was
love
too
haircut.
handsy with the girls.
They cut him off at the bar.
Okay. So then finally you hear the Penguin kind of like grab him by the shoulder and he turns around and like points his grapnel gun at his face and he goes, whoa, take it easy, sweetheart.
It's me, Colin Farrell.
Dude, I'm not going to lie, man. Colin Farrell fucks.
Yes, he is doing the single best Robert De Niro impression ever in history. And he's killing it.
He's so good.
What's great too is we find out one of the things about the Penguin that oftentimes that's important to the character but doesn't necessarily land all the time is that he thinks he's above where he is.
Yeah.
We see that a lot, and he keeps bringing this up. Like he's a lot of bluster, he's a lot of bark, but with no bite,
right?
And we see that in a big way in a little bit. But he goes, it cuts to him showing the photos to the Penguin, like, who's this?
Do you know this lady? Tell me.
I don't know, Chief. We might have been coming in at the same time, but I wasn't rolling with him. And then Selina walks in with, and we see him notice the boots. And the boots are going to be, man, there's so much weird through lines in this.
Yeah, and she also, he notices her give the photos like a meaningful look.
Yes, she will in a second. Because
But I do like her first reaction, which she walks and freezes, and it's like, yeah, it's all right. Yes, I'm having a meeting with Batman right now. I understand that's unnerving, but we're okay.
Well, he's actually really condescending to Batman about it. Goes, it's okay, baby. Mr. Vengeance here. He won't bite.
Yeah.
Calling him Mr. Vengeance is very funny.
It's very funny.
Yeah. And then she looks at the photo and then is like, well, and she like looks up at Batman like, what the fuck you got this photo for?
Sorry, I have to. Sorry.
Go ahead.
It just occurred to me. He calls him Mr. Vengeance. That means that it got to him. That whenever people say, what are you supposed to be? He says, I'm Vengeance.
Yes.
Which means he says that all the time, huh?
Yes.
Every single opportunity he gets.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point that his henchmen are like, yeah, he always says he's fucking Vengeance. That's his thing. It apparently never gets old for him. It gets real old for us.
He said his name was fucking Vengeance, and then he fucking scattered my kneecaps.
Yeah.
That would be so funny if they didn't even know he was Batman,
right.
but they thought his name was
Yeah,
Vengeance.
it was Vengeance, because that's how he fucking introduces himself. He might. He really might.
Real blank man energy in that situation.
That's more frightening than calling yourself Batman, is if you just went around calling yourself Vengeance.
Vengeance, yeah.
Because it's not like about come up with a cool name, it's like a real reflection of your state of mind.
Right.
Yeah.
So
she gives Cobblepot a bunch of money and he gives her drops. And then she looks up, still very alarmed at Batman because she is doing a crime and knows that there's something going on with her roommate / lover.
It's unclear. Yeah, it seems like they might be in a relationship.
Yeah, well, she keeps calling her baby, and Catwoman's sexuality is notedly fluid in the DC continuity. So, it tracks.
Yeah.
So Batman is like, I want to know who she is and why she's connected to this murder. And it's like, murder. And he goes, that's the mayor. He goes, so it is. And that triggers Batman, apparently. Who shoves him right up against the glass. And he's like, hey, you better watch it. You know my reputation? And it's so funny because Batman just goes, yeah, I do. Do you? And that really bums out the Penguin.
Yeah, he's really bummed about that.
It takes the wind out of his sails.
Yeah, really deflates him.
He just found out all his friends are talking about him behind his back.
They're all talking shit about him.
Yeah, that really hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really know how to cut to the Penguin deep.
Yeah.
Because really, all he's doing is dealing drugs in a nightclub. He's not like some, refined, I don't know, like glamorous criminal that they show in movies. He's just some dude dealing drugs out of his club.
Yeah, he's the capo of a guy that won't leave his house.
Yeah.
He's certainly not riding duck boats in the sewer. So
he totally snaps out of his attitude. He's like, look, man, I'm just a proprietor. I got no idea what people are doing here. It has nothing to do with me. And then as he's doing that, he notices Selina like staring through the glass from the other end. And he's like, noted. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he goes, hey, but why don't you ask Mitchell's wife? Maybe she knows. What, too soon?
I was really hoping Batman would also laugh, because I think that would be unnerving.
And they fist bump it.
Yeah, just Batman just really finds it funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And
just like a quick snort.
He sprays milk out of his nose.
Wait, was you drinking milk? I didn't even...
Batman would drink milk like Homelander.
Of
little
course.
pouch of milk.
Yeah. I have to replenish my bones.
I have to make strong bones.
Listen, if Batman went around fighting crime and pinning down like criminals and making them drink milk from a pouch he had, I think they'd be way more scared of him.
Yeah.
Like if he didn't,
it's all
they
warm.
Yeah, this is warm, milky liquid. Like they don't quite know if it's milk. It tastes like milk, but who knows why he's doing it? Is it, where's the milk coming from? I feel like squirts it at them from like a little. Yeah, that's true.
Real extra, real icing on the unhinged cake that is the Batman. If that were to happen.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's worse things than just beating someone up, such as squirting warm milk in their mouth while dressed as a bat. Like that would deter crime. Pretty
Drink
fast,
my bat
I think.
milk. Sample my bat milk.
Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, like there are things he could do apart from dressing up like a bat that would really upset people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just like takes them down, just licks them and leaves.
Yeah.
Also, he notices that Annika's boots are the same ones that Selina are wearing right now in the photo.
Ah.
And then he goes, hey, let me know if there's anything else I can do. So Selina leaves the lounge, calls a taxi, and Bruce is clearly following her on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Right.
Annika's freaking out on the phone, and Selina's like, what do you mean the news? No, stay there. Wait for me. I'm on my way home. Listen, baby, we're going to get the hell out of here. We'll leave tonight if we have to, blah, blah, blah. She gets home, and it cuts to Batman spying on them through the same type of binoculars that the Riddler was using.
It's rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's like a riddle poetry.
Yeah.
Yes, riddletree,
Riddle,
if you will.
I will.
Yeah.
And basically, you know, he's
Sounds like
being
that
it's
sounds
he's
like the worst holiday. Put up the riddle tree.
yeah, to put up the riddle tree.
It's an insufferable Christmas.
Yeah, insufferably incel Christmas. We see her. She gets to there. Bruce is like a creep for like his studying here. But Selina walks in.
I sort of get like an asexual vibe from him when he's dressed up like Batman.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
like he's such a Martian.
Yes,
for sure.
We see her take her wig off, and she gets changed into like a bodysuit. There are cats. Bruce is a creep. She grabs her shit, exits the window, and then effortlessly like leaps down the fire escape in the rain. But I was also like, it would have been so funny if she just slipped.
Oh yeah,
because it's so wet.
Shit. Batman is just like, oh shit.
He just puts on his squirrel outfit and flies away.
As her leg is twitching, you know? I'm gonna get in trouble again.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
The cops from a payphone.
No.
The idea of Bruce being afraid of getting in trouble is just so
That's
good.
very funny, yeah.
Oh, man.
Locks himself in a bathroom.
Hiding under his bed like a cat.
Yeah. So Bruce follows Selina to the mayor's mansion on their bikes, weaving in and out of traffic in the rain like total assholes.
Yeah.
They are both just like huge mega assholes. They're menaces on the road.
Oh yeah, they ride their motorcycles in that way that like you wouldn't know they were superheroes, so you just go, what the fuck? Like that would be it. You just think they're losers, you know?
I mean, Bruce specifically with his driving gets, I don't know, 100 people killed later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce is responsible. I mean, well, Bruce ignores the deaths of, I'm sure, several people.
Yeah.
He might not be fully responsible for it, but
we'll get there.
He plays a part. He plays a part.
She lowers herself into the mansion through the skylight and goes up and like finds a safe and like basically cracks the safe behind the painting. And then as soon as she opens it, he goes, "Gee, you're pretty good at that." Like full volume.
Yeah.
Like a nerd. And she attacks him for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But turns out it doesn't go well for her.
No.
And he just like holds her down and sees that all she did was grab a passport. And he's like, he hurt her. That's why you killed him.
Yeah. And I need to break that down. Because he's supposed to be a good detective, right? Mm-hmm. So he shouldn't think she did anything. Because he's like, oh, he hurt her? That's why you clubbed him, duct taped his face, put riddles on him, sent the riddles to me, put a special thumb drive, mailed it. Like, of course she didn't do any of that. Like, why would you ever think she killed him and then did all that shit around it because he hurt her friend? Like, come on, Bruce. That's some shitty detective work, right?
The card would just be like, "Don't punch my friends."
Yeah.
I was like, man, I didn't think they would have that as a card, but it was the 50s.
Does he think everybody's as fucking weird as him? Like,
I think he probably does.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, like also like if she was gonna break into the safe, like surely she would have done that after she killed the mayor. Like, you're right. It's weird that he.
It's a stupid question.
Yeah.
She's just like, we just got to get the hell out of here. And he had her passport. And he's like, what does she know that got her so spooked? And she's like, she won't even tell me. He's like, well, she did seem spooked back at your place.
Yeah.
Now,
Real
she should
cool,
mace him right there. And
Yep,
then-
100%.
a second later, he also, what does he say? He says something else about that, like, sort of tips off that he's been following her. I forget what it is.
It's
But,
a few
like,
things, yeah.
I don't know if he's doing that on purpose.
I think-
if he's
Like, there is a version of this Bruce, because he's so, like, weird, that he might not realize.
That's creepy, yeah.
Yes.
It's
All I can
either
say-
that, or the weird kid knowingly eating crayons because he
Right.
he knows it's jarring to you.
Right.
Either way, I can't stress how incredibly maceable Batman is. Like, it's one of his few weaknesses. Like, if you mace him, he's done. Like, it's going to seep in behind the mask, too. And it's going to be, like, a real problem.
Alfred!
He can't take the mask off because he doesn't want you to know. So he's just going to roll around on the ground.
He
It'd
does.
be like Batman Begins when he gets fear gassed and lit on fire, but
Yeah.
just pepper
Fucking
sprayed by a random woman.
Just pepper spray. That's all.
Falls
I'll do
four
it.
flights
That-
flights off a scaffolding. Alfred!
That
Wait, that's why he has the
remains-
pouch of milk. So he can just drizzle it in his
Pour
eyes
it
to
in
clean
his
it out.
eyes. That remains one of my favorite moments of any piece of Batman
So
media.
good.
Is
Very
him
funny.
getting instantly fucking thrown out a window by the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Just
Daddy
totally
beat
not
me up.
prepared for
Come
this
get
dude.
me.
Oh man.
What an
man.
asshole.
So they recklessly ride back to Catwoman's apartment, and Annika is missing. The fridge is open. Something has clearly happened. But Batman picks up a bill dated October 19th, 2019. So they had just gotten this in about 2 weeks ago. And it's a final notice, and she is in trouble. She owes $500 to Gotham Electric. And I'm like, Bruce, just leave $500 there.
Seriously.
He probably has that in his back pocket.
That's the thing. Even if
that's
you-
like loose
That's
not-
change
Some
to
money.
Bruce.
It's a little
Right,
milk
but that's
soaked,
not
but they'll
that's not
take
even
it.
that much money that you would tip her off. It's like $500. Yeah, just
Yeah, roll it up and put it in her sock drawer.
yeah.
She might think she forgot it.
Yeah.
Give her some money, Bruce. And on the news, we see another murder.
We sure
Another
do.
murder has happened. And the killer has claimed credit online this time. And the Riddler, we find out, is a streamer.
He sure
Yeah,
is.
He also in the mask. Did you guys notice this? Sounds just like Jeff Bridges. He
I
really
didn't notice
does.
that, but man.
Watch it again. He sounds like excited Jeff Bridges all the time. Well, only
Yeah.
in the mask.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. His voice is distorted, but he explains that he killed the mayor because he wasn't who he pretended to be. But I'm not done. And we see the commissioner whimpering with a cage on his head and some rats around his stomach in a maze with "no more lies" written on the duct tape.
Yeah. If
On
you
his
ever
mouth.
if you ever wake up with rats tied to you and a cage wrapped around your head, it's not good. Like there's no
No.
good way to get out of that situation.
Nah.
Yeah, those rats are gonna burrow through him, right? Like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think the
They-
implication is that they ate his face, right?
Yeah, they sure ate his
yeah,
face.
they sure did. And I will kill again and again and again until our day of judgment, when the truth of our city will finally be unmasked. Good.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, so good. and Selina's like, "Oh, I've seen that guy at the club." And Bruce is
The
like,
Riddler.
Bruce is like,
Wait,
Yeah.
the fucking Riddler? Like, yeah, weird guy. Really, tip's
Wait,
great.
you seen
Tip's
this
great.
dude?
Great tipper.
"Can I get an old fashioned?"
And I'm gonna have another and another and another.
Until I finally forget her. And she goes, she's like, "Yeah, that's talking about the commissioner." She's like, "Yeah, I've seen that guy at the club." And he goes, "The Iceberg Lounge," which is a stupid question to ask because what club do you think? No, just the club that I when I go clubbing.
Fuck, I just realized why it's called the Iceberg Lounge.
This is the Penguins Club, Dave.
Because it's the
No,
Penguins
not
Club.
just that, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. Right?
I mean, sure.
Because there's
fuck,
more
yeah.
under. There's a seedy underbelly.
Yeah,
You learn
that
about-
might be part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And then she goes 44 below, and he goes, "What's that?" And she looks at him like such a fucking nerd, and she's like, "It's It's the club within the club. It's the real club. It's a mob hangout.
It's the cool club.
Oh, is that where you work, Selina? She's like, I'm not cool with you knowing my name, but okay.
That was the other thing. That was the other thing I was thinking of.
Well, because that's why he reads her mail, so he gets her name.
He gets her name, yep.
And then she's like, no, I just work the bar upstairs, but I see them come in. A lot of guys that shouldn't be there. I know that. And Batman is immediately like, yeah, you're going to help me on this. For your friend. For your friend.
Yeah, totally for your friend.
He pretty much says it just like that. He says, you're going to help me on this.
Yep.
He sure is.
And it's like, God damn it, Batman. I just want to go to bed.
And then a bunch of cats run up on him. And he's like, yeah, you kind of got a lot of cats here. And she's like, well, I have a thing about strays.
Yeah. Also, it's their dinner time, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
They're probably trying to eat Batman.
Yeah, he smells like fish.
Yeah.
And they're just like...
He smells like
we're
11 different
starving.
kinds of fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he just goes, you're not safe here. And she's like, I can take care of myself. And like, can you fully?
She's
I guess.
Like,
Catwoman.
I know you're tough, but at the same time, like, it's the whole mob.
No, it's not ideal. But like, then he's also not like, here's money, go to a hotel. He's just like, you and all these cats need to find a new place.
Oh,
And
yeah,
she's
no,
like,
he's not going to help with
Thanks for
that.
the advice, Batman.
Yeah, no,
He
heavens
sure
no.
isn't. No, he wouldn't. He doesn't think about helping other people.
No,
That's
he
not
sure
his MO.
doesn't.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, that's a sode.
Oh, is it? Oh, man, the time
We get
flew
it,
by.
David. We met them. The time has just easy breezy, beautiful right through.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Dave, what do you got going on, bud? What should we do? What should we listen to? Where should we go?
Well, I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's a Gamefully Unemployed has a Patreon, and you can get exclusive episodes of podcasts if you just give $5 a month on that Patreon. Podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman. Have you heard of that? And Fox Mulder is a Maniac, and Star Trek The Next Futurama, and Spiel Boys, all for $5 a month at patreon.com/gamefully, GAMEFULLY, unemployed. We also watch movies every Friday night with our patrons. That's, I guess, what I want to plug in terms of personal plugs. That's it.
That's all you get, Dave.
Yeah. That's
Tom?
fair.
Well, listen, folks, we have a store. Head on over to gamefullyunemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So check that out with your high-intensity binoculars.
Yeah. Jeffrey, is there anything you want to plug? What's going on with you?
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have cool friends, and I have a show called Jeff Has Cool Friends, which you can find for free everywhere. But if you want early access to uncensored episodes with bonus content, head on over to patreon.com/JeffMay, JEFFMAY, one word, to get access to that, as well as other shows like the monthly Ugh Fine with Kim Crawl and more things on the way. So that's really fun.
Delicious.
You can also check out, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. You Don't Even Like Sports, a sports podcast for people who don't like sports, as well as Unpopular Opinion, both on the Unpops network. I think Jose Canseco dropped for free, so that's a good one you should listen to. That's a
It's a
people
classic.
seem to like that one.
Yeah.
People like the Jose Canseco cast. That being said, follow me at Hey There Jeffro on social media. But for the most part, that's it. Hey, thanks for watching Batman with us, and we'll see you next week for part 2. We're going to do an autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
We sure are on the dude who got his face ate by rats.
Spoilers.
We're gonna get a mix of both science and car wrecks. It's gonna be a blast.
And if you think Gordon's not going to bring his caped friend into the police morgue,
Oh, yeah.
you've
sure
got another
is,
thing
yeah.
coming.
But yeah, so we got that going for us.
Yeah, let's be done. Let's get out of here.
Let's be
Goodbye.
done. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thumb drive. Jesus.
Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. You can find more of his artwork at instagram.com/mvbramleyart. Our episode artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.